This was a TvP ranked. I usually play unranked, but you have to play a couple ranked when the season starts, or else you'll show up as unranked, and then that's just silly. And this guy is going to do something impressive. So let's actually back up. What I do is almost irrelevant. I do the same thing I always do in this build. And my build, the 2Rex, basically says if they go proxy oracles, I'm just going to lose, because that doesn't happen often enough for it to be important. Right, so this guy goes proxy oracles and I do lose, which was my plan, so I'm okay with what happened on my end of the field. But what's really impressive is what happened on his end of the field. So you can see we got our good old 9 pylon, and then we make our 10th probe. And we're going to not make any more probes. We're going to save up and make our gateway as soon as possible. So we've cut about 2 probes already. Make another probe. 2 probes. Get gas really early. Cybernetics core will be as soon as this gateway is done. So he cut at 10 to get the gateway, and then he cuts at 14 to get the cyber core, and he makes the second gas at the same time as the cyber core. So you're cutting at 10 and 14. And then we get our second pylon and a proxy location. We're going to add just 2 more workers, and we're not going to chrono boost them, just 2 more. And now we're saving chrono boost, and we're building our Stargate. Look at this. Stargate starts at 328. 328. That's crazy. And we're continuing to cut workers. It's tempting, like there's nothing else going on. It's tempting to spend all your money on workers right now, but you got to save up. You got to save up. So he gets out 1 stalker, and he chrono boosts it. Gets a little scout on my base. Hi base, how's it going? And this is again, he goes cut at 10, cut at 14, cut at 16, and now he's going to cut again at 18. So we got ourselves 18 probes. Got our stalker out to deal with the scouting marine, and the oracle is on the way. So I have seen proxy oracles a bunch of times, and almost invariably they show up at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And this is a full minute and 20 seconds earlier than that. And it only, basically he only had to cut like 5 probes in order to get it out this early. So here we go. It's in my base at 5 minutes. It actually comes out of the Stargate at 5 minutes. And at 5 minutes, I have the army's spending benchmark is 500, but not all of it is popped out yet. So there's still a marine and 2 marauders yet to pop out. So I have literally just 2 marines. No engineering bay, obviously. Who gets an engineering bay at 4 minutes? So he just kind of comes in here and starts killing stuff. So did you watch these little dudes? I see the oracle at the corner of my base. I see it right here. And these guys are like, oh, an oracle. So they start to move to defend against the oracle. And then they stop. And the reason they stop is because I look at the clock and it's 5 minutes. So there's no way this is a real oracle, right? At 5 minutes, this must be a hallucinated scouting oracle. So I'm like, whatever, it can do whatever it wants. And then it starts to kill workers, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, that is a real oracle. But now it's too late. He kills 2 marines by themselves, and then he kills 2 more marines by themselves. And I'm like, what? 5-minute oracle? What the heck? So I got to run my workers away. It's already out of energy, and yet I'm still running my workers away. This is kind of just a little bit of panic of me. So the second oracle comes in here at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And he's going to focus the marines first and then the SCVs. It's important that if he kills my marines in groups of 2, he doesn't take even any shield damage. He only took 20 shield damage to kill the marines. So he's keeping my marine count low. I didn't throw down an engineering bay the second I saw these oracles, so I don't think there's anything I could have done to survive without throwing down the engineering bay. Me and Catrock resumed from replay at 5 minutes like 6 times in a row. And we tried all of the responses we could think of to this, starting from this position where you've got the marines on their way out, 2 more marines about to join. So fighting with the marines doesn't work. Counterattacking with the marines and marauders while you run your SCVs away and make an engineering bay in a silly location, and then come back and make a turret up here while you do your counterattack, try to kill some probes, lose some SCVs, and try to equalize, that doesn't work. Oracle Man comes out pretty far ahead because he's able to kill some of your army with the second oracle, kill a bunch of workers with the first oracle, chase your SCVs around. Another annoying thing was chasing the SCVs around without activating the thing. So you just put the oracle above a bunch of SCVs, and now the Terran is forced to pull the SCVs and therefore stop mining. But then you don't start killing the SCVs. You just chase them around with bunches of energy, and so they can never go back to mining. And if they do go back to mining, then you activate and kill a bunch of them. We tried just taking all SCVs and all army and base trading, and that doesn't work at all because oracles just destroy a small marine count. Like you at most you get 4 marines and against 2 oracles, and by the time you walk across this field, it's 3 oracles. It's just not even close. We tried hiding in engineering bay, running the SCVs around, and getting a turret up as fast as you can, and you just lose so much by the time you get the turret up that you're really far behind. We tried counterattacking with only the Marauders while we try to group up the Marines and fight the Oracles, but again, 4 Marines against an Oracle is not a good trade, and he can just wait for the second Oracle against 6 Marines, and then it's just even less of a good trade. So yeah, there's basically our conclusion is there's no way to come out ahead, or even with this the way that this game went, and so the solution is I gotta either scout the proxy location and see the Stargate before it goes up, or I gotta, when I did get a scout on his base with my Marine, and when I get that scout off, I saw 2 gas geysers, and I gotta just count the number of workers, because if it's 2 gas geysers with only 10 workers mining minerals, then it's a cut worker proxy thing. And if it's 2 gas geysers with 14 workers mining minerals, then it's much less likely to be scary. So there are two options basically. I think I can either scout proxy locations every time, and one tip that Ketrock had for me is that he's never going to proxy the Stargate here, because he'd be afraid that you're going to take your command center and see it. And he's never going to proxy it anywhere down here, because then he's afraid he'd have to fly over your command center on the way in, and it'd just give you that much more time to react. So the Stargate is always going to be proxied in the non-natural direction as close as possible, so right here. And he was right, it did get proxied right there. So that's some good advice. I'll try checking there in the future. That's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about this. So this 5-minute Oracle build, pretty impressive. If I were Protoss, I would definitely go try this build 10 times in a row against all matchups and just see how many of the games I win. Because, you know, at some point you're going to get 6 pooled. At some point you're going to get, you know, proxy reapered. And there are a lot of things that are just going to kill you doing this. But if none of that stuff happens, it's like an automatic win. The rest of this game is kind of silly because after the Oracles show up, I'm like, what? 5 minutes? And he's already 4 workers ahead. I counterattack with my Marauders, but he just kills them with probes. Now it's 14 to 21. Now it's 7 to 21. Even though I got the turret up, he just gets in there, kills some stuff, takes shield damage, and retreats. And like while the turret is protecting my SCVs, he still kills lots and lots of them. So now it's 27 workers to 6. And there's nothing really that I can do from here. I'm kind of stuck. I can't make the factory. I can't afford to be mining gas at this point because I need minerals just to use the buildings that I already have. So I'm going to go over and kill the proxy Stargate, but it's 50 workers to 18, and so by the time I get across the field, he's got like 200 Colossus with upgrades done and lots of gateways and lots of money. So here we go. 2 Colossus, 3 Colossus, and 4 Oracles. Just easily mops that up without losing almost anything, and that's the end of the game, man. So I liked it. And you